Another foundational influence for you was sports. Now, my fellow international classmates and I, we're mystified daily by American sports references. So we're very happy to talk about cricket.
Yeah.
You love cricket, and you dreamt of playing professionally. What lessons did you take from the pitch?
Well, I mean, all of us who are South Asian are obsessed with that sport. And, it's sort of, in fact, that's right. I mean, that was what I was pretty much all bound up in all through my high school, into college. And, when I look back, I think all sport teaches you a lot. And especially, at least, I feel team sport, I think, has a huge impact in how you think about leadership. I'll never forget this one particular incident that I've, I think, subsequently written about. There was this guy who was my school captain who went on to do pretty well in the context of Indian cricket. I was bowling trash that day, and he took over from me, got a wicket, which is a breakthrough. But then he gave me the ball back, and then I went on to have perhaps the best bowling spell I've ever had in my life. And I've always reflected as to why did he do that? And then, in fact, much later on in life, I went back and asked him even. And so at least the way I surmise it was a leadership decision he made of saying, look, I recognize that this he had recognized the importance of not breaking my confidence. And I said, look, well, that's a pretty enlightened decision for a high school leader, captain of a cricket team to make. And a lot of leadership lessons is that, right? Which is you got to make hard calls on, say, performance. But also, you got to be able to sort of understand that you need your team, and it's not like everybody's going to have a good day all the time. And that subtle distinction and that judgment, right, which is one of the things that I feel, which is the most understated part of leadership, is judgment. And it's so important. And that judgment comes by you exercising this muscle around passing judgment and learning from it. And I thought that's one of the lessons I learned.
If we turn now to Microsoft, before you were CEO, you took this job leading Microsoft's first real cloud business. And Steve Ballmer apparently told you this might be your last job at Microsoft because if you fail, there's no parachute. That feels like a lot of pressure. Why did you make that jump?
Steve, who went to school here, had many. He just went for 1 year, from what I understand. Oh, this is the funniest thing I should say this. I mean, I guess the other guy who went to school here was Mukesh Ambani. So I believe one day Steve Ballmer was introducing Mukesh in Bombay. And he joked that both of us dropped out of GSB, except that Mukesh had never told anybody that he had dropped out of GSB. So there was a real scandal. And so Steve, wanted us to really take this new business area, which was our online business. In fact, Susan, who's here, and I worked on it for a long time as well. And he felt that, look, this was a place where we needed to make progress. And Steve had this very clear sense of what it means to succeed. And his point was, you're going to go learn a lot. And of course, I'll fire you if you don't do a good job with it. And it was sort of a way for him to perhaps communicate both why he as the CEO cared about this business and at the same time his expectations. But I must say that particular tour of duty has been the most influential in how I've sort of thought about whether it's distributed computing at its core, whether it's the economic models that are going to be emergent. And that has been very, very helpful. Doing different things inside the company has helped me grow to run the company eventually. So, I actually appreciate Steve both giving me that opportunity and, more importantly, giving me the message that, look, at the end of the day, it's performance that matters.
Really? Did you know at the time that decision was putting you on a path to one day becoming the CEO?
No way. Most people ask me this, which is like, hey, did you have a sense that you'll become CEO? No. First of all, none of us grew up even. To us, especially having grown up at Microsoft, I don't think I even thought of a Microsoft where Bill and Steve were not actively engaged. I mean, it was just not even in the realm of possibility. The thing, though, I would say, especially, business school graduates are an ambitious lot, and you're all sort of saying, when am I going to be a CEO? My only advice there would be, it's like, don't wait for your next job to do your best work. That, I think, is the crux of it, which is if you think about every job you get as the most important job and as the thing that is perhaps your last job, but you gave it all, and of course, from there, a lot of things will happen. And that's at least how it was not like the job that I had before becoming CEO, I somehow thought was just a stop on the way to something else. I actually thought that was a fantastic job until, I got the next job.
And that next job was ultimately to become the CEO of Microsoft. And when you took that job, you faced some high expectations. Microsoft is struggling. You're following, as you mentioned, Bill Gates, Steve Ballmer. And many people thought that the CEO should come from outside. So what did you draw on in that moment?